Okay, so this story happens, I want to say maybe 3 years ago. So basically, let me get the setup for you. It was me by myself. I did not have my friends. I did not have any family with me. It was just me by myself hanging out. And so where this happened, the setting of it was a large field by the school that I went to, an elementary school. And so near that school, a couple blocks down was the library of the small village that I lived in. So this library, I got a book. I don't remember what book it was. Probably a comic book because I love comics. Got a comic book from the library, and then mine. It's 6 p.m. 7 p.m. I'll say 7 p.m. So I did not do that on purpose. I swear it was between 6 or 7 p.m. But 7 p.m. Get my comic from the library, and then I walk down to this open grassy field where my elementary school was, just to sit and read because it was one of the most peaceful places that was in the village itself. We had a lot of surrounding wilderness that was a national park. And so I could have gone there, but I've been there pretty much every day. And I just, change of scenery, stuff like that. So go down to the field and I have my comic book with me and I'm about to sit down. This was when I think it wasn't, what was my mode of transit at the time? I think I got there by car. I think. Yeah, I got there by car. And so I'm parked in the parking lot of the school. And so next to the school is the big field. Going down with this blanket that I have. One of the blankets that we no longer used, I used to sit like in open fields. This was a common activity for me. So even today, like I will sometimes go out to any open green field where there's trees, where there is a forest, where there's anything nature-esque, and I will sit down and read a book or meditate or do something. No, I'm not saying that to sound poetic or artistic. I'm saying that because it's actually a way that I kind of like de-stress from the school, work, whatever I'm doing, environment. And so this was one of those many times. The only difference was I was a teenager and I got scared by something that happened to me shortly afterwards. So basically what happened was I sat down, I started reading my book, and it's starting to get dark out. It's starting to get to the point where, usually I would head home because I don't like being out after dark too much. There's a lot of crazy things that happen out after dark. And I know that sounds like the logic of a child and not a grown adult, especially 21-year-old adult, but it still is dangerous. Okay? I'm not so much terrified of the monsters or the zombies or the ghouls, the goblins or the ghosts that could come out at night. I am more so scared of the people that come out past 8, 9 p.m. And a lot of people probably saying, well, that's just sensitive. A lot of people would probably say, how are you going to be scared of all those people? You are a grown adult. You can defend yourself. Well, hey, you don't know who's lurking out there, okay? You don't know what kind of creeps is out there. You don't know what they could be armed with. Somebody out there could be a creep that comes out past 7 p.m. and they have a can full of a deadly neurotoxin that nobody has ever encountered before. And if they threw it at me, I could have gotten sick with some unknown virus. So take that, all you people out there who say that I'm a wuss for not staying out past that time. But look, I was sitting out there, I was reading my comic, and as I'm reading, it's so quiet, it's so peaceful, I could just meditate out there. All of a sudden, I hear, is, 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 is. That probably sounded weird in editing, and it will probably sound very weird in post, but I do not apologize. That is the sound that I heard. And so I'm thinking to myself, what is this sound? Hiss, 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 hiss. What is going on? I'm looking everywhere. I'm like, somebody having some sort of crazy episode right now? What's going on? What kind of noise is that? I don't know what to make of it. I don't even know what sound I've ever heard like it. It just sounds like a consistent, high pitched, like not screeching noise, but like a calling sound. Like some animal is trying to call for their mates or something. Or maybe some guy is out there trying to do his best impression of what he thinks modern day hip hop artists are like at 70 years old, because that's what he thinks. That's what I'm assuming was happening at the time. That was not the case. What happened was there was a bat looming above me in a tree right behind me. So, but I didn't know it at the time until I looked up and I had seen the bat actually flying really close to me. Now this is where it gets scary, because before it was just the noise. Before I could just write it off as just this mysterious noise that has no source and whatever. It's not a big deal. But when I saw the bat, then it became a huge deal because now I identified the source, and now I know if I stick around here, I'm going to die, or I might be a vampire. The second option sounds cooler than the first option. Either way, I'm going to die, but I don't want to take the chance of this bat biting me and then me actually dying and not becoming a vampire. But here's the thing though. I wouldn't be so scared if it wasn't for the fact that the bat kept flying down closer and closer to my head. It kept coming so close. I was like, if I had to give an exact distance, I'm not really good with measurements, but if I had to give a distance, I would say it was probably 15 feet above my head. 10, 15 feet. I would say maybe even, I would say about 12 feet. Like less than 15, more than 10. So it was really close. And it was so close that I was convinced that it was going to come down and bite me. Or attack me or do whatever bats do. Right? Maybe not bite. I don't know. It's probably an exaggeration caused by vampire movies and the influx of Twilight installments over the years. But I really did believe that this bat, almost said bite, this bat posed a risk to my safety as a human being. And I'm curious. So what happened afterwards, I'll tell you all why I'm curious about this situation, but what happened afterwards was I got up, I said, nope, and I got out of there with my book, and because I was terrified, and the bat kept coming closer and closer and closer to my head, going, is, and I was like, bat, don't attack me, I pose no threat to you, I love all animals, but the bat was not listening, because it doesn't speak human. He does not speak any variation of human language. It is a bat. I did not even know if it was a he. It could have been a she. Could have been a they. I don't know. But they were coming down and they were trying to attack me, so I had to get out of there as fast as I could. I don't think I worried about the blanket. I think I left the blanket there, actually. Yes, I did. I left the blanket there. I did not take it with me. I only took the book with me because I'm worried about my life here. So I only take the book and I'm running to the car. Not even running. Actually, I was speed walking. Because I guess some part of me was still not taking the situation seriously. So I was speed walking to the car because I don't know why. When you have a bat chasing after you, I think 9 out of every 10 people would run for their lives to their car in fear that the bat would actually turn them into a ghoul or a vampire. But I wasn't thinking about that, okay? I was not thinking straight. I was thinking this bat poses a danger to me, but it's still a bat. Like in my mind, I'm thinking if the bat comes down and it really tries something, I could just, use my book, use some kind of defense skills. Is this branding? No, I could use some kind of defense skills to just get that bat out of there. Now, I will say I have some years of boxing experience. So me versus a bat in a fight, I could probably maybe take it for about 3 seconds before that bat nibbles onto my knuckles as I'm throwing a punch. And then all of a sudden, I'm doing, you bit me. You just bit my knuckle. What happened? It's not playing fair, Bats. It's not playing fair. Are you on round 2? Come on. Vampire noises. Stock Hollywood vampire noises. But that's what I'm assuming would happen there. And so I'm not really a brave guy, but I would say that maybe some part of me thought that there was still a chance that I had to fight off this bat. Even if it was small, even if it was insignificant. But long story short, I get to my car, I drive out of there, and I've never gotten attacked. I've never gotten threatened by a creature as much as I got threatened by that bat. Now, I told a story on this channel once where I encountered a mutant rat in the forest, or at least a rat that I believe was mutant because it was the size of my Labrador. But the rat did not threaten me. The bat threatened me. And so this was a much more notable experience in that sense, I guess. But the reason I bring this up is that I'm curious. First of all, comment, have you ever had a situation with an animal like this one where it threatened you? It may not have attacked you, but it still was threatening and imposing in a way that you felt was dangerous to your life. And if that happened to you, if you can relate to this story, then what is the best course of action to take in that situation? I mean, it depends on the animal, right? But if, let's say, like a bat or a bird or an eagle, let's say an eagle, because that's different from a bird. An eagle tries to attack you. What do? Eagle is a pretty big bird. It can come down. It has talons. It has these sharp. What do you call it? Talons. I said talons, but then I forgot what they were for a second. Even though I was repeating them, it has these sharp fingernails that it can use to gouge out your eyes, create some everlasting marks in you until the day you pass away, take out some hair. It can do some damage to you. What do you do in that situation? You cannot just throw punches because it's strong. It's one of the strongest birds there is, and it's one of the biggest birds there is. So if it comes down and it tries to attack you, you're basically fighting like a bigger baby, right? Because an eagle, how big is an eagle? It's like bigger than a baby. It's smaller than a child, between a baby and a child size. Actually, I would say that it's probably the size of the smallest. What is the size of an eagle? Like 3 feet tall, 4 feet tall. Well, let's say 4 feet tall. If you had to fight a 4-foot tall eagle, what would you do in that situation? If it tries to attack you, what really are you doing? What course of action are you taking? Like, what weapon do you think you would need? Would it, like a baseball bat work? I don't think a kitchen knife would work. I think an eagle might be able to disarm you if you have a small weapon. But if you have something like a baseball bat, or maybe an equivalent of a baseball, like an axe, a nice battle axe, that you go with that eagle and just, take this, eagle! And then the eagle the whole time just keeps going, Caw! And it keeps trying to take that axe away from you. It keeps trying to deprive you of your weapon, but you are strong. You are trained. You are a human. You have the capacity to survive any survival situation against any animal that you have ever encountered. Okay? Use that training to your benefit and try to survive that next eagle encounter. Or in the bat encounter. Maybe a kitchen knife would work. Maybe that would be enough. Maybe you need something else. Maybe you're too scared of bats. In which case, I would say, take your battle axe to that too. Better to be prepared than not to be prepared. Okay? And for a bear, or anything the size of a bear, you are probably done. That's it.